Hello, happy Friday. Yes, I'm on my ball again. I think this is my happy place. I just feel more comfortable doing these videos sat on here. And anyway, first up, apologies. I know I promised I would do a video about supplements. I am going to do that, but I'm going back through all of my old notes and videos so that I can give a proper comprehensive list of all the sort of supplements I've tried, and to give a fact base as well, not just my view. So that's one. Also conscious I haven't done the video on my actual in May results day of when the tumour that was taken out from the surgery was biopsied, and also the results from the lymph, because I think some people might be interested in what that was like and what the results were, if you're on or on that journey or interested. But the purpose of today's video is another mindset one, so if that's not your thing, then feel free to skip. But a big part of my transformation journey from TMS in 2022 and the breast cancer in 2023 is mindset, because I think your life does shift when we start changing our thoughts. You know, for me, everything is from the thoughts. That's where change happens. And I was thinking of doing, towards the end of 2025, a sort of a video of all the things I'm proud of this year, and that got me thinking on this particular mindset. But before I get into that, I also think when you start sort of shifting energies, because I've been, as you know, I'm not working in December, contract's finished, waiting for a new role to start in January, and I'm taking this opportunity to do quite a lot of work, one of which is the book I told you about, which is this one. So I'll do a quick update at the end if anyone's interested. And also I am completely decluttering and like forensically deep cleaning the house. Not that it's not clean, but I'm doing things like the tops of the kitchen cupboards, the ceilings, the walls. I'm cleaning every picture, every mirror in the house, cleaning skirting boards, under beds, decluttering. So I'm shifting energy. I think it's a really nice thing for me to do at the end of the year. It's like bringing in, getting rid of any stagnant, stale energy. And because 2025 has not been a terrible year, but it's not been brilliant either. I mean, I've had sort of minor health things like scratch cornea and the weight I dropped on my toe, and there's just been some minor irritations, and I thought I'll put this month that I'm off to good use, as well as doing some sort of like nice fun things as well, which I'll be doing. And what I find is when you start positively moving energy, you can get surprises and synchronicities, and this is happening to me at the moment with times and music. So I wake up sometimes in the night, but when I look at the clock, so for example last night it was 0000, freaky. Yesterday I was going for a walk, had Spotify on, my liked songs, of which there are hundreds of tracks, on shuffle, and I thought, oh, I haven't heard XY track for a while, my favourite. It popped up on the very next song. And then tonight I got back from the gym, I was just doing a cool down home, put Spotify again, shuffled my like songs, and I started thinking about doing this video, and that I wanted to do it on mindset and sort of like, you know, keeping hold of your dreams and not letting other people's negativity bring you down. And I thought, oh, there's that song by the Electric Light Orchestra, Don't Bring Me Down, and I'm not joking, it came up next on my play. So I thought, well, clearly this is the video I need to do, so I'm doing it. So it is about mindset, and the first thing is it's about not letting other people's opinions, views impact you, and this is a big one for me. This was a very big one because people pleaser, I don't like real confrontation, I get very self-conscious if I'm criticised, and I'm working on it, and it's a lot better than it used to be. So people talk about being your authentic self, and doing that is really hard when you feel self-conscious. The reason I've got pink cheeks is because I've been running around cleaning the house, and no makeup on because I've been to the gym. And why am I explaining that? Doesn't matter, does it? And I was just thinking about, sort of slightly lost my train of thought there, that I've allowed, sort of prior to 2022, other people's views and opinions really influence me. And I'm really working on following my own instincts and not letting other people's negative views or their own limitations, their own fears influence me. And it's kind of like putting my hand up and saying, no, mentally in my head, metaphorical, I'm not available for that, because they're their fears, they're their views through their lens of their life, not mine. And it's difficult, it is hard. Now, that's not to say I don't seek counsel or advice, I do, but from people that I look up to, people that I value, people who are living a life that I admire or I'd want myself, or have achieved things, but certainly not people who I think are for whatever reason sort of trying to bring me down or trying to snuff out my bonfire. Try not to swear. And I'll sort of give you some examples. So one of my achievements, which I was going to put in the video of all the good things about this year that I'm proud of, is I ran my first half marathon in May this year, Bristol half marathon. I'm incredibly proud of that, incredibly proud. Now, some people might be thinking, so what? The reason I'm incredibly proud of this is because of the eye defect, strabismus. If you watch my very, very early videos, you'll know about that. If you don't have binocular vision, it has a huge impact on eye to hand, left, right coordination, balance, how you judge height, width, depth. Forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly. Where your body is in space, proprioception, and it has a huge impact. So you can imagine what sports or PE class was like for me at school. I never got picked for rounders or anything like that because I couldn't hit the bloody ball. And I became very self-conscious and I stopped engaging. So I would dread PE. I think we had it twice a week. I'd dread it. So it wasn't a great experience for me. And it was a self-fulfilling prophecy because the more I dreaded it, that's, you know, if we think about our thoughts create our environment, or create our reality rather, that's what I got. But I didn't know all these things then. But I noticed a lot of the girls were doing gymnastics. I was really keen on gymnastics and keen to try. And I remember and the teacher there, and I'm going to name and shame her, Miss Fleet. And she did like a lunchtime, and I was so curious, and I kind of snuck into the gymnasium with, I can't even remember the other girls I was with, and she bawled me out my name right across the gymnasium, get out of here. And I felt so small, so conspicuous and frightened. I mean, I'm a child, she's a teacher, and you know, she was a force to be reckoned with. And I just completely shut down. And so for me, sport was like, that's it, I'm done. You're never picked. People would laugh at me. I mean, even my own parents who didn't really understand about strabismus, they'd get and laugh at me. Oh, Claire, why don't you hit the ball? Hit the ball. It's there. Don't be frightened of it. I mean, so you can imagine I was so self-conscious of sport. And I just thought it wasn't for me. And then round about 2015, I just started, I mean, I'd always walked, always, but I just started jogging because it was always something I'd quite fancied and tried and then stopped. And I kind of built up, and now I run. I'm not fast, I don't care. It's not about speed, it's freedom for me. So I jog and I run 2 to 3 times a week. And I was having a bit of a knee problem and it just wouldn't rectify. And I don't believe in just putting a bandage on. I just thought I need to find out what's wrong. I now know it's TMS. If you look at my other videos, I now know it's TMS. But this is the first one about other people sort of shaming you and bringing you down. Because I was thinking about shame as well. Because I've been listening to Fern Cotton's Happy Place podcast, where she does like a montage of different interviews, and the topic was shame. And it kind of all tied up, and I'm conscious I'm rambling. But there is kind of a point, and it is mindset. And so I found myself like a personal trainer guy, face to face, where I live. And I spoke to him on the phone. I emailed him, I explained my issue, and I spoke to him on the phone and said, look, I jog, keep getting this knee problem, a little bit of an ankle problem. I need somebody to kind of assess me and help me. And there's a gym nearby near some tennis courts, and I met him there. And his name was Mark. He was, or is, from New Zealand. Not that that makes any difference. He was so rude to me. He met me, he looked me up and down. You could just see he was very disappointed. I don't know what he was expecting. Zola Bud or something. Look her up, fantastic runner. And he just said, oh, you know, let me see your gait. And he said to me, look at you. Look how you stand. You're not made for running. I would stop if I were you and find something else. I finished the session. I paid him. And I came home covered in shame. Absolutely covered in shame. I was felt so small, and it was like I was right back to school. And there was something in me, and it was that same spark when I got the breast cancer. There's a little defiant, thriving spark in me that will not give in, will not be beaten, and will fight back when you humiliate me or insult me. I'll go, I will show you, how dare you. And it was that made me think, I don't care if this hurts, I'm going to keep jogging because it makes me feel good. Maybe I'll just change my shoes. And there's a lovely running shop near me, and I went in and they assess you and they put you on the treadmill and all of that. And there was and I was explaining to them, because I was still upset what had happened, and there was a young lady who was a very accomplished marathon runner, and she just said, don't let anybody ever say anything like that to you. It's rude, it's incorrect, and anybody can be a runner. So that helped. And then, of course, I got the breast cancer and I was jogging, but I hadn't really got over about 6 miles. Part of that immediately post breast cancer treatment, when I engaged with a personal trainer I've talked about, and I know I'm going to do a video with that as well. I want to ask her if she'd actually like to be in it with me, Delphine. And part of that whole journey was I set myself quite a lot of targets, and I thought they need to stretch me. So I said, I'm going to run a 10K. At the time, that felt enormous to me. I did run the 10K a year after breast cancer. So I ran the Bristol 10K in 2024, and I loved it so much. And the euphoria, I cried when I finished. I was so proud of myself. Was I said, I'm going to do the half marathon, and I booked it and paid for it before I could even change my mind. It was hard. It was grueling. It took me 2 3/4 hours because it was a very hot day. It was an unforecasted, very hot day, and it was grueling. And it took a lot out of my body, because about a month before, or even 3 weeks before, I got shingles. Never had shingles in my life. The training puts a lot of stress on the nervous system. I still did it. So I ran a half marathon in a hot day with shingles. And I'm enormously proud of myself. And you had 2 people, a teacher who humiliated me, and then a guy who told me I wasn't built for running. Look at how you stand. And I proved them both wrong. Am I fast? No. Am I an athlete? No. But if I'd listened to those people, I wouldn't have achieved any of that. So that's the first one of, that was about them. They were just rude, whatever was going on for them. That guy, Mark, he might have been having a bad day. He might have expected a different kind of woman to show up. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care anymore. And I guess that's the point of this, really, is I had 2 dreams there, to do a 10K and to do a half marathon, and I achieved them. So I set myself some targets, and I had some dreams, and I achieved them. And I'm going to tell you about another dream as well, and I haven't achieved this yet. But also, when I was at school, I've always loved words and writing. My dad bought me like an old-fashioned typewriter when I was just a kid, and I used to write like a little local newspaper that I just used to share with my friend Catherine. It was hilarious. I called it the National Babbler or something. That was awful. And I did it like a newspaper. But I played on my own a lot as a kid, and I was always sort of in my own little world, making up stories, sort of Enid Blyton-esque. Anyways, I think I was probably about 9, and I was in Mr. Upton's class, and I wrote a book and I typed it. I think I'd obviously been watching too much Murder, She Wrote, and I did it like a proper manuscript, big staples at the top, you know, where it kind of flicked, so it was, staples were at the top of it. And I mean, it was complete nonsense. I sent it to a publisher. They rejected it, obviously, but they sent me such a lovely letter back. But I gave it to my teacher, Mr. Upton, and I was so proud of what I'd done. And you know, he never read it. And I think about 2 or 3 months later, I asked for it back. And because he was my teacher, like my form teacher, and he couldn't even be bothered to read it, I think I just burned it. Oh, that's really sad, isn't it? But you can see there, as a child, I had a dream. And you never know, maybe that's what I need to start doing. I mean, clearly I like creating stuff, and I certainly like talking. So maybe I've got an itch to like write. Maybe the stuff I'm putting down here, I should put it in a blog as well. Who knows? But I think we all have dreams, don't we? And you all have yours. And they might seem silly to somebody else, or like a teacher not interested, they write you off, or they just haven't got time, or somebody puts you down. Who cares? I think that's all I wanted to say today. It was a big part of my transformation journey, is following my dreams. Yeah, doing things that make me happy and having a go at things. Isn't it better to think, I had a go and it didn't work out? And so I'll still run. I'm not doing a half marathon next year, just because the training is quite intense and it took a lot out of me, and my toenails doesn't, I mean, it's only growing back tiny, toenails take forever. But I'm going to do the 10k again because I really enjoyed it. And then maybe I'll do the half marathon the next year and start looking at improving my times, and maybe I'll start looking at writing. But I just wanted to sort of share that if you're making some New Year's resolutions, or you're not, or you just have some dreams, or there's something you want to do and you're frightened that someone's going to laugh at you, or someone's putting you down, then try and rise above it, and don't let them bring you down, in the words of the Electric Light Orchestra. And then, if you're interested, for those who might be, so I said in my last video that I was reading this, and I was putting my month off to good use by doing some sort of further personal development. I love it. Oops, sorry. I really, really love it. And but you've got to invest some time. There's exercises. So I've done 2 of them so far, and I'm kind of just going to leave it at that for the moment, and just because there's morning exercises, and just kind of let that settle as the book recommends. But there's one that looks at patterns we carry from our ancestors. That's a really powerful exercise, like really powerful. There was no surprises for me of some of the patterns that I carry. And then the second one is sort of the mask that we wear, whether we are the performer, the peacemaker. I can't remember what the third is, probably because it's not applicable to me. And then there's an exercise in sort of recognising and sort of overcoming your mask, or removing your mask. So if that's something that you're interested in, it's so far really recommend. I will stop rambling now. But as I said, in the words of that great lyricist, Jeff Lynne from the Electric Light Orchestra, hold on tight to your dreams and don't let people bring you down. He didn't say it quite like that, but you get the sentiment. I will stop talking now.